Hi guys, Matt Lemke here with Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. Today we have another flip through for you. This one is on Heroes of Humanity. I do that all the time and they actually have a difference. Anyway, I'll be right back. Alright, so Heroes for Humanity. Of Humanity, my bad, is a Coalition Wars source book that actually crosses over with Minion War. If you're not familiar with Minion War, it ties into Megaverse in Flames and actually a few other books because it was a major campaign. And basically, okay, so you're at this time where the Emperor has announced that they are going to war basically, or actually somewhere in the timeline. This is actually about 5 years after the Juicer Uprising, so if you know the timeline well enough, which I don't, I probably should have looked that up before I did this, we're at war with Tolkeen, or I mean coalition states are at war with the magic users of Tolkeen. I'm not exactly sure where they fall in that timeline, which book that falls in, or where this would fall, but apparently Minion Wars overlaps some of this, or Minion War I should say, and this book is about that threat and how the Emperor does it. And there's a couple of things, well, early on, right in the beginning of the book, and there's not a lot of art in this book. That's one of the reasons why I'm not doing this top down, and you can see my super ugly sexy face. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of the insights from the author because I think they're important. This book is inspired by Karl Glebo's Minion War. The whole series, in fact, in general, and the Megaverse in Flames world book. The Minion War on Rift's Earth is the first demon plague in more than 2 centuries, and with the coalition states at a new heights of power. That's right, new heights of power. That should tell you something. They're talking about game-changing conflict. This is exactly what the CS is built for, and this is actually to deal with a threat that is the culmination of everything they've been preaching about. Demons that come and take you and enslave you, magic users, supernatural DBs, all these different things that are a threat to the human race as we know it. And then, you know, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover there. There will be more things in the Disavowed, which is the book that I'm really looking forward to. Then there's this big long speech, Call to Arms. And there's just a couple points that I want to read. This is Emperor Prosek's words, not mine. Where is it? Join the coalition army and fight with us. I promise you victory shall not be denied. Victory will be ours. If might makes right, then we will stand stronger than our enemy. We will punish them for trying to take our world from us. Couple paragraphs later. These are the lessons we must teach all inhuman invaders as we pull the trigger that sends their God-forsaken souls back to the deepest pits of hell whence they came. Now, the battlefield is all across North America. All across. The coalition reaches corner to corner. But before I get too far, what they don't do is they don't reach into other realms. And this is, I'm not going to say the first, because I mean, it's not the first instance of it, but at this point in the timeline, this really starts to explore the differences between demons, devils, possibly devils if you want to make your own, or you know, if you're pulling them in from other places, and showing and displaying that they are different races, I guess is the best way to say it. They really introduce the ideas and the concepts that they have different personalities, different body chemical compounds, etc., and things like that. And we'll get into that a little bit more in just a few moments. But I mean, it's kind of like the difference between demons and devils in other fantasy games like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. Probably about half of this 160-page book is, I don't want to call it all fluff because there's things in there, but there's a lot of background material on the things that make this book. And it's just one of those things too. This book is, I wanted to enjoy this book, so I waited almost a year, which by the way, at this point in time, I do have to thank Kevin Siembieta for giving me this book, and there we go, for giving me this book, because I waited a year to review it. That's not really why. I mean, I just have to thank him because, well, one, I really enjoyed this book. Two, it's a book that I had been looking forward to reading since Gen Con when I picked it up, which is almost a year ago now. I just haven't had the time because of work and other things. Now that I lost where I was at, there's not a lot of art in this one, sadly, but there are things like these cool panoramas across the top. I can't talk today, people. So does anybody want to send me to a neurologist? That would be awesome. You can do a brain scan. So there's fluff on like the rise of humanity, where they're at this point in given time, which if I didn't already say it, it is about 5 years after the Juicer uprising. And then there are all kinds of, I'm not gonna ruin the fluff because I want to talk about some of the other things. Of course, there's coalition states in America, Fortress of Humankind, all of the stuff that you're kind of used to, but the twist on it for Heroes of Humanity is that it is really in context of how to deal with the supernatural, demonic, devil type of threats. It even talks about civilizations outside of the coalition states. But one of the cool chapters is Hell on Earth, which talks about how demons and devils participate and use strategies and tactics and have a personality within your campaign to cause havoc to your party and hurt your players. There's a nice little read called Demonic Psychological Warfare, and it's like, alright, just to put it in perspective, don't trust him. I don't think that he's Victor. You're talking about disobeying a direct order. I know. What do you mean? You don't think that's Lieutenant Peterson? I mean, I think he's not Victor. That right there did something for me that for some reason in Rifts I had never thought about doing. In between the lines, something's off with the guy they're talking about. Is he possessed? Is he not? Is he just sick? That's for you to decide as a GM. This whole chapter kind of puts a spell on you and your players, trying to stir up distrust. And then the next chapter moves into weaknesses, which is the coalition strategies and tactics. And these are both great chapters that make this book very, very valuable as a source book. For example, demons have vulnerabilities to ordinary SDC melee weapons that are made of stone, and they do damage equal to, or they do mega damage instead of SDC. They break it down by demons, lesser demons, devils, greater demons, greater demon or devils, and on down the line. And that's something, especially that chapter. That's a chapter that you can apply to any campaign where you have a demon or a devil in. And then there's a little bit of a whole thing on slaying the demonic leaders and how there can be a permanent death, or how they can return in a type of, for lack of a better word, I'll say resurrection. And then, after all of that, you start talking about Demon Slayer reputations and optional things, how to target the hell pits. Again, this is all sandboxy type of stuff that allows you to build a campaign the way you wish to spin it. Of course, they have stuff on the secrets of the Coalition. Laszlo, New Laszlo, Archie, Republics, Lemurians, all that good stuff. But one thing they have is they have the Coalition Army, which is something we kind of see over and over again throughout the Coalition Wars. One of the things that I don't recall seeing before is they have common slang terms in this book. Which can be fun. I've always loved the fact that the guys take special care with the look of military or the look of uniforms within Rifts. One of the things they do is they added advanced training, and I'm not sure this is the first installment of advanced training, but they do go over the details of how to use it and how to build a character to use it. That's one of the better parts of the book, especially if you like to play Coalition characters like I do. Sadly, I don't really play Coalition characters anymore because I GM. But they have, let's see, so there's a Demon Slayer school, a Black Talon school, Officer school, Special Forces school, Steel Armor school, and a Military Technical and a Psi Battalion school. They introduce new character classes through some of this. They also, with the advanced training, they have different requirements for you to take each one. They have new skill descriptions. For example, well, no, backing up, I'm looking at Black Talon. The Black Talon Combat Pilot Advanced Training is a 12-week course, has requirements for certain attributes and who's allowed to take it. It has certain skill requirements. They must have at least one flying-based pilot skill before taking this combat AT. When they're done, they pretty much can fly any Coalition air vehicle there is to fly. They get Robot Combat Elite, etc. Things like that. And like I said, it's 12 weeks. And then you have your Elite AT bonuses that you get basically for doing cool character creation types of things. And this particular school is basically Top Gun. You know, if you've seen Tom Cruise in Top Gun, you have an idea of what these guys are going through. And then a couple pages later, we have Beyond the Advanced Training, which advanced training, I mean, it's not just, I'm not trying to downplay it. There's like 25 pages on it. But we have some new OCCs. In this particular OCC is the New Coalition CS Combat Courier. And basically these guys are propaganda specialists. They go out into the field and they do things. And these guys, you know, you might think that they're not that easy to play with, but there's a lot of different ways you can use them. You can use them for a one-shot. You can, if you have a character, I mean, they're actually great for one-shots, or what they're really, really good for is a single-player, single-GM campaign. You know, you can have a story where these two guys, you know, maybe you're in a small group and there's only a couple people that are playing Rifts. These guys are great for that. You can have a wonderful role-playing campaign where, I mean, basically this guy's going to try and avoid combat. And then a few pages later, you have the exact opposite. You have the Death Knight. By the way, that's wonderful, Chuck. This guy is massive. He specializes in hunting demons. He's a demon slayer. And again, I'm not going to go over a ton of their stuff, but I do want to point out his shield. It's very coalition-y. And then we have the Skelebot Specialist, followed by some juicers. There's some really good juicers in here. Which one was my favorite? 110 PA. That, for those of you that were wondering around the time of that. Let's see. Coalition Juicer. Super Endurance, of course. Super Strength, Super Speed, Super Reflexes. Top Secret. What recruits do not know is that small explosive devices are secretly implanted in the skulls of CS Juicers. Can we say Suicide Squad? And yes, I do have a campaign idea for these guys doing just that. So, if you guys want me to write a campaign, let me know. But one of the things I do want to do, and I've been putting off for a while, is make a character creation video for Rifts. If you want to see a basic character creation video, let me know. If you want something more advanced, let me know, and I'll start putting that together. I work in a garden center now, so it might be the end of the summer before I can get to that. And then we move into equipment. I'm not going to touch upon a lot of the equipment. I'll show you some cool pictures, though. A lot of the equipment is exactly what you would think it is. One thing that I apparently missed when I was reading it, and I just now noticed, was the Psycho Stalkers, which are they're right here, a psychic character class, and I wish I would not have missed that. Where is the picture? My favorite picture in the book is eluding me. So I guess I will not... Oh, the Hellbuster. That's one piece of equipment. Anyway, so who is this book for? It's a source book, so I tend to lean towards it's more for GMs, but there's enough character stuff in here that any player could use this that's playing in a coalition campaign. There's not a lot of dimensional being stuff in this book. There is a lot of coalition stuff, obviously. There's some stuff about demons and devils and how a GM can give them more personality. I said devils, I meant devils. More personality within their campaign and structure them so that they can be a little bit, I guess, more effective. Because in my opinion, one of my opinions on being a game master is you're supposed to interrupt your players' plans. If you are not being a problem to your players, then you're probably not doing everything you should be doing. Because when you're a problem and you create obstacles for your players, that's when you will have some of your best sessions. You want your players to go home and think about the next session and how they're going to overcome that. And the only way you do that is by giving them curveballs. Anyway, back to this and who it's for. Probably one of the best source books they've written because of the way it falls in to both the Minion Wars and the Coalition War campaign. When I first picked it up, I thought it was, and read the first couple pages, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be absolutely silly. But it really focuses towards the Minion War side while showing enough support to the Coalition War that you can easily learn that there's other things going on in the Coalition at the time of the Coalition War, which if you just look at the Coalition War campaign, you kind of think that's everything. So this actually puts things into a little bit more perspective and says, hey, we haven't forgot about our demon frenemies. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Tell me more. Tell me what you want to see about Rifts. I've been playing Rifts since, I don't know, it came out pretty much. Like, I seem to remember playing in high school, but I think it was printed after I graduated. Anyway. Hi, guys. Meet the Nibbles, who's gonna go down. She just decided not to go down my back, so we'll do this for her so she's comfy. Thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate it. Please hit the like button and share it if you know somebody who might be interested. And of course, there's always Twitter and the Facebook thingy, and soon I have a newsletter coming. That'll be down there or in the link below, and my kitty cat loves that idea. So anyway, there was one more thing. Oh yeah,
subscribe. Be a part of my community, our community. Let's make it grow together. See you guys at a con somewhere, or a local store, or if I'm driving through the country, maybe a game club. I don't know, you're not going to go knock down my camera. Bye, guys.